Well, good evening, trustees and members of the community. We'll do the regular superintendent's update and then share, as is part and parcel of our policy on advisory groups, as we do in October, share the advisory groups and then finish this section with an update on our water quality lead in water testing program. Wanted to begin this evening with our youngest students in the Ann Arbor Public Schools have been actively engaged. You can see some great photos here from Westerman Preschool Center. Our tuition preschool classrooms are fully up and running again, as they have been for the previous few years. We're happy to report that Project Lead the Way, trustees, is up and going in the Young Fives classrooms. Those students are already making and doing their projects, problem solving, critical thinking, and collaboration, as you can see here. The Ann Arbor Public Schools are partnering, and you'll hear more about this from our executive directors and Principal Angela Newing, Forsyth Principal, who's here with us tonight. Lots of students and schools participating with kindness campaigns over this fall. Anna's Kindness is a particularly special one for all of us, and the goal is to provide students with hands-on community service opportunities. Some of the events include serving breakfast to those in need at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church, providing care for rescued horses at Starry Skies Equine Rescue and Sanctuary, and helping senior citizens play bingo at Glacier Hills Rehab Center. We commend our middle school students for their desire and their efforts to give back to their school community. Anna's Kindness, as you'll hear more about a little bit later, has been launched by Anna's parents. And Anna was a beautiful student with us who passed away 2 years ago, and I'm so proud that her spirit of kindness continues in so many of our students who are engaged in these projects. There's a beautiful picture of Anna. Scarlett Middle School was the location just last week of our welcome ceremony for the 40th delegation of Hikone exchange students who were visiting Ann Arbor. You can see them there as they arrived at Scarlett. It is an honor and a privilege to be a part of this unique and exceptional exchange program that fosters knowledge, understanding, and lifetime friendships, actually generational friendships. We now have students involved in the program whose parents were Hikone students as well. So it's a beautiful program. We know that we have about 16 students who've been busy preparing, who will make a trip to Hikone, Japan in November. And they are so excited about the trip. They've spent 6 months in sessions with their adult sponsors, and they've learned Japanese. They are finishing up the folding of 1,000 peace cranes that they will leave at the site of Hiroshima during their visit. It is a remarkable partnership, and we're so very proud to be partners and friends with Hikone, Japan. The AAPS Junior College Night was held back on October 2nd at Skyline High School. The evening featured presentations by admissions administrators from Michigan State University and Kalamazoo College. As you can see on our website, we're engaged in quite a lengthy series of college prep sessions. We invite all of our students and parents to check those evenings out and see when and how you might choose to participate. On October 8th, we hosted Making the Most of Your College Visit as a part of the ongoing College Comes to You series. It's a partnership between our public schools and our counseling department and the Ann Arbor Public District Library. That same day, the downtown library also hosted an urban setting can be a perfect place to study in college. These events are all free and open to the public, and we continue to post information. So check back, because the events will change, and they will be duplicated as we have more demand and more requests for these special evenings. We're pleased to announce that Skyline High School students Emma Rose Carpenter, Karsten Finholt, and Isabella Priestley have been selected from among their peers nationwide to present on their tutoring experiences and research on November 9th. They will be presenting to over 500 secondary writing center tutors, directors, teachers, and administrators who will be representing more than 60 middle and high schools from across the country. This is just an extraordinary accomplishment for these students and is reflective of the exemplary leadership of Mr. Jeffrey Austin, who is the director of the Skyline Writing Center. Mr. Austin also serves as the Midwest Regional Representative for the Secondary School Writing Centers Association, and we just applaud him for the contributions that he has made to the field of secondary school writing centers, both in Michigan and across the country. I follow Mr. Austin, and I'm proud to say that not only do we have exemplary writing centers here in Ann Arbor Public Schools, but these groups are raising the level of play across the country in high schools with writing centers. I wanted to take a moment tonight to congratulate Jack Weddle and Morgan Knox. They are seniors at Pioneer High School, and they were the first and second place winners of the Student Art Poster Contest sponsored by the Ann Arbor Area League of Women Voters, Washtenaw County. These high school students were invited to create a nonpartisan poster to persuade viewers of the importance of voting. Encouraged by Pioneer art teacher Helen Bunch, these talented students have designed, as you can see here, this is Jack's, dramatic, colorful pieces of art with positive, strong messages. These posters will be distributed throughout the county ahead of our upcoming election on November 6th, and will also appear on AAPS buses. So watch for those posters, and certainly it is a worthy message to get out the vote in our upcoming election. We offer congratulations to Linda Newton of the Ann Arbor Public Schools Finance Office. You may not see Linda a lot. She works in the back on our finance team, but just this past week she was awarded the state award, Purchasing Manager of the Year, Assistant Director of Finance and Purchasing for the Ann Arbor Public Schools. This award was established in 1997 to recognize individuals who have completed a unique or special project or have been outstanding employees within the past year. Linda has 18 years of purchasing experience. She's been with the Ann Arbor Public Schools for 2 years and has worked tirelessly on completely rebuilding and redesigning our district procurement system to better align with updated state and federal laws, as well as board policies and procedures. Linda is passionate about procurement and about serving students by serving the staff of the Ann Arbor Public Schools and knowing that the end result is to benefit the children we serve. It also is worthy of note that this is the first time in giving this award at the state level since 1997 that a public school procurement manager has been awarded this distinction. So I think that is worthy of our note, and congratulations, Miss Linda Newman. Trustees, as you know, I regularly highlight our advisory groups. And we do that each fall and each spring with updates in between. It's the first meeting in October, and while our membership lists are still settling out as our advisory groups from last year, I've seen lots of email traffic from folks as to whether they want to be on for another year or would like to yield their seat to someone else who may be interested. The board recognizes in Policy 2420 the district benefits of parent, student, and community participation on advisory committees to help build strong relationships, shape understanding, and provide additional avenues for input and feedback on the questions and improvement of the district. President Stead noted earlier how much we appreciate the expertise of individuals in our community, and our advisory groups are just a great place where we see that transpire. Next Wednesday evening we'll be out, or Wednesday afternoon, we'll be out at at Freeman Environmental Education Center, and we'll be meeting with two of our advisory groups, one on environmental sustainability in the district and the other one on the Freeman Environmental Learning Center. Trustees, you can see the membership of the groups and some projected meeting dates. I have some more dates to put in here, trustees. So we have these posted to the website. We also will have, I will send them to you, trustees, in an organized email, so you have all of those dates and groups in one place. The groups at this point in the year are the Assessment Advisory, the Blue Ribbon Advisory, which consists of community leaders from higher ed, business, nonprofit, all sectors that advise the superintendent. I'm very proud in particular of that group. The third group we're working with this year is our comprehensive daily high school schedule group. Mr. Paul DeAngelis works with that group. I've already mentioned the environmental sustainability group, very proud of that group, and the Freeman Environmental Learning Center. Those two groups in particular are populated by experts in the field, both in the Ann Arbor area and nationally. We're very grateful. Also, the evaluation group, that group is now moving beyond 3 years of existence, and they'll be launching soon this year. And we have a superintendent's teacher advisory group. I had about 30 applications last year, was pleased to accept most everyone who applied to and was able to attend the meetings. I'm looking forward to meeting with that group in the near future. Trustees, you remember the classroom environment group from 2015 bond. That was when that group was formed. They've been on just a short hiatus as they finished a lot of work. We have in mind, and I dropped them down a couple of lines there because they are not back up at this moment, but they have raised the flag, and I've kind of called on them to do some work here, probably in the second half of this school year. So we'll look forward to hearing from these groups as we move through the year. And if folks in the community have interest in participating in any of our groups, just go onto the website, and I think Ms. Helton, Mr. Cluley can bring it up so that you can see. You just go over to the tab Get Involved. If you go down that tab, you can see Ann Arbor Public Schools Advisory Group. We also have our parent groups listed on that tab, so you'll be able to get a lot of information there, and we invite interested folks to reach out to us. I have heard from a few folks who have indicated they're not maybe going to return, so we will have a few openings and look forward to hearing from folks who would like to participate. I wanted to move now into our update on the Ann Arbor Public Schools Testing for Lead in Water Drinking Program. We certainly appreciate everyone who is attending tonight, both in person and those who may be engaging through our live stream or on CTN. I appreciated hearing from parents earlier in September, and I appreciated getting to meet with several sets of parents who are bringing a lot of expertise to the table. With or without expertise around lead, I believe the one priority, trustees and community, that we all agree on is holding sacrosanct that goal of keeping our students safe and keeping them well. And so it's that lens that we all bring to this work. As a part of all the work we do in the Ann Arbor Public Schools to attend to the health and well-being of our students and staff, we also have our attention on the quality of drinking water in our schools. This critical issue of ensuring the health and safety of our students remains our top priority, and this is true with our work to enhance our program for testing for lead in drinking water. Our buildings average 65 years of age, and we do not have a building that's less than a decade old. And so we are aware that there are risks associated with aging infrastructure, and we're keeping our focus on this plan. We have today shared updated guidelines, trustees, as we promised you 2 weeks ago that we would do. I do believe that we will continue to work on this plan. I have heard every individual who has spoken this evening, and it is our desire to get to the lowest possible levels of lead, and we sure hope to see a day when that would be zero. That is our goal. That is what we're working toward. This plan in its current state is among the most aggressive in Michigan. We have tested annually since 2016. As individuals have mentioned this evening, there were some flags on the 2017 testing, which occurred in the middle of the summer. That timing of that testing occurred around the MDE grant. So some folks have said, why did we test in the summer? Why didn't we test during a school, a time of the year when we had school? There were reasons for that. We have tested annually. We have followed up to address every single area where there was any parts per billion greater than 15. We have amended our guidelines, and we'll continue to look at those as we move forward. We are in the business right now of installing lead-filtered hydration stations in all of our Ann Arbor public schools. Today, right now, approximately 2/3 of our campuses are already equipped with those lead-filtered water hydration stations. We will be engaged as a community, I believe, together to ensure that we are all being mindful of getting our water from a trusted water source, so that we do that not only at school, but everywhere we go. So I just want to ensure that we're all together. We are vigorously committed to the health and well-being of our children and staff, and to this important priority. We will be a leading district on this topic. I've carefully noted the sources that were referenced this evening, and we'll be following up with those as well. I thought that the best way to communicate an update would be to use the message that was sent out to the community today. So if the board and the community are willing, and I apologize for those who have already seen it, although I know it is a busy day, and folks may not have opened that particular email yet. So if it's all right, we'll start with this video. We also published today 2 public service associated videos. We'll show one of those this evening and then demonstrate. Would it be all right if we just looked at all the materials real quickly? So you can see along the right-hand side all of the additional sources that we posted, and then on the lower half of the page, all of the relevant links to other sources that our parents may have interest in looking at. And so with that, trustees will view the video, and then I'll turn it back to you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swift.
As part of all the work we do in the Ann Arbor Public Schools to attend to the health and well-being of all our students and staff, we have our attention on the quality of our drinking water in our schools. We are committed to achieving the lowest possible levels of lead in drinking water in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and we take very seriously the risks associated with lead exposure, particularly for our youngest children. We have voluntarily tested water annually in all Ann Arbor public schools since spring 2016, and we have addressed any and all issues of parts per billion measures of greater than 15 parts per billion, established as an action level by the EPA. We have implemented a plan in the Ann Arbor Public Schools to address lead in drinking water through a 4-part process. First, annual testing in all AAPS buildings and follow-up mitigation. Replacement of aged water fountains with new hydration stations. Education of students, staff, and community to ensure all use trusted and safe locations for drinking water consumption. Consistent and continued communication with our parents and the Ann Arbor community regarding the lead in drinking water program in the AAPS. The next cycle of testing for lead in drinking water is scheduled for this month and next. With the overall goal of the program to reduce exposure to lead, in this next round of testing, we will lower the threshold for when we implement the AAPS protocol for addressing an issue. Remediation efforts will be implemented when lead levels are at greater than 10 parts per billion. And additional attention will be paid to any water fixtures that test between 5 and 10 parts per billion. Testing in AAPS schools is focused on high-priority locations, including drinking fountains, kitchen sinks, and classroom water fixtures. We have increased the number of locations tested at each campus. Water testing is conducted by Arch Environmental Group, professional partners to AAPS on environmental issues. Arch Environmental fulfills a similar service for 47 other school districts in Michigan. The AAPS protocol for addressing an issue when lead levels read at greater than 10 parts per billion may include replacing water fixtures and, in some cases, replacing water pipes behind the fixture, which is the protocol indicated by water quality experts. In addition, we are taking these next steps: installing water bottle filling stations with certified lead filters in all our AAPS school buildings, and encouraging students and staff to use these hydration stations as preferred locations to obtain drinking water. Continuing the flushing of all water systems following school breaks, such as summer, Thanksgiving, winter break, and spring break. Conducting an inventory of all drinking water sources to ensure attention is paid to all fixtures across the district. With the fall 2018 water testing cycle, increasing the number of locations tested in each school, particularly in all preschool, elementary, and K-8 locations. Implementing appropriate remediation activities for locations measuring greater than 10 parts per billion across the district. This step will place the Ann Arbor Public Schools ahead of the state of Michigan adjustment to greater than 12 parts per billion scheduled for 2025. Additional attention will be given to fixtures that test between 5 and 10 parts per billion that may include flushing and retesting and other steps to be determined. Educating students, staff, and parents. Along with other communities with aged infrastructure around the country, we all face the possibility of consuming lead in our homes or anywhere we go. We provided parents with educational materials from the CDC and the EPA with best practices for minimizing exposure to lead in many environments at a2schools.org/water testing. Installing signage in low priority locations such as bathroom sinks, custodial closets, etc., to advise that water in these locations is not for consumption. Reporting test results of our lead drinking water program as an annual report to the Board of Education to ensure the board, our parents, and community publicly receive this information shared directly each year. As we have done since spring 2016, we will continue to post results of lead drinking water testing on the AAPS website. In the Ann Arbor Public Schools, we are committed to the health and well-being of all our children, and to the important work of preventing and addressing levels of lead in school drinking water. We look forward to maintaining our position as a leading school district on this very critical issue of student health and safety. There is much more information regarding AAPS lead in drinking water program and links to valuable other resources at a2schools.org/water testing. In addition, trustees, there are a couple little public service videos, and we're just going to show one. It's very brief, but it's about our inventory, which is a piece that I didn't cover as well in the opening statement.
Hello, I'm Andrew Cluley, the Director of Communications for the Ann Arbor Public Schools. Recently, we've received several questions regarding the drinking water testing program across the district. To help answer those questions, joining with me today is Emil Lautzana. He's the Executive Director of Physical Properties for the district. Thanks for joining me, Emil.
Glad to be here.
Now, I know that one of the things that was mentioned that we're going to be doing starting this fall is a complete inventory of all the drinking sources and water sources across the district. Can you talk about what all is entailed in that?
Absolutely. Well, we take drinking water quality very seriously at Ann Arbor Public Schools and have been testing since 2016 on an annual basis. And as we continue to improve that program, we've determined we need an inventory of every single water source in our buildings. That helps us do several things. One, we can distinguish where our oldest fixtures are. We can also identify those locations that are most commonly used. And we can also flag areas where we have our youngest children who we know are more susceptible to lead poisoning. With the inventory data, we can also track and manage our system much better and identify areas that we want to designate as non-potable sources that we can clearly label, not for drinking. In certain areas that these fixtures just are not designed or capable of providing that type of water.
Sounds great. So it'll really help us in terms of making sure that we know what to test and what not going forward.
You can't manage what you don't know.
All right. Well, thank you very much for helping us out here, answering these questions, Emil. If you have any more questions, please go to a2schools.org/water testing for more information, frequently asked questions, and also links to important, useful sources of other information.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. And thanks for all the community as well that came to talk with us this evening. We have other things on our agenda, obviously, but that's a really important one. So thank you so much.